Hello, you. It's me, and I'm a little under the weather, but I just wanted to make this video, and I do want to say very clearly in the beginning that this is all my opinion, not truth. My opinion from the alleged things that I have heard. I just want to make sure that that is clear. I'm not saying all these things are true. I'm saying this is what I've gathered so far regarding Gypsy Rose. Now, I'm going to first talk about the baby. It still is very disturbing to me that there was no mention of a child in the divorce decree. That doesn't sound right. But there is something that Gypsy said that I haven't heard anybody really talk about, which is in an interview, she was mentioning that her and Ken were posing for pictures with fake sonograms. This was before she realized she was pregnant. Why would Lifetime do that? Is that not incredibly suspicious sounding? Because it sounds really suspicious to me. It sounds like one of two things. Either the pregnancy is just a storyline, or, allegedly in my opinion, or she was pregnant with Ryan's baby. Now, do I care who the father is? No, I really don't. I don't give a shit. It could be her ex Dan, whoever he is. It could be Jeff, Joe, or Jonathan. She seemed to get around a lot. Just saying. And I don't care, do what you do. The only thing I care about is the fact that here is a murderer who is free and should have gotten life. That's the only reason why I care. You want to quote unquote hoe around, whatever. I don't care. Do your thing. As long as you're not hurting anybody, and as long as everybody is adult and everybody is consenting, I don't have a problem with it. Do your thing. I'm sexually positive in that direction. But she hurts everybody she touches. It's very obvious. We can see. And we can hear. So, my guess is that the baby is a plot point for Lifetime. Now, why they would do that and fake it? Because it looked like throughout her pregnancy, she was faking it the whole time. My opinion. It looked like she's faking it. Could she have been pregnant? Yes, it's possible. But I don't see pregnant people with perfectly round bellies like she had sometimes, and then sometimes nothing. I don't see pregnant women sitting in the way that she did, with one leg crossed over the other, and never having trouble getting up or sitting down. Never seen. I don't care how big or small you are. Every pregnant woman I've ever seen struggled to get up, to sit down. And there's also something that she said when she was talking about her pregnancy before the baby was born, supposedly, that she and Ken are nesting right now. And I guess that could be true, because usually you nest about 2 weeks before the baby actually arrives, because you're getting ready for the baby to arrive. That's the whole point. But the way that she said it sounds like something she read off the internet, off Google. It didn't sound real. Nothing she said sounded real. Now, I did check with her story about getting epidural, getting a catheter, getting the other shot to induce labor. All those things can happen. So I don't see any holes in that, except that I don't believe her. And what was the other thing? Oh yeah, and the picture, I think Alice down the rabbit hole did a really good job in showing that the picture of Gypsy and Ken while she's holding the baby, um, it didn't look right to me. I will be honest with you, but the way that Alice down the rabbit hole was very specific about why they think that it could be faked and what a Photoshop picture looks like, and compared it to what that picture looked like, I think that Alice is on the right track. I really do. I don't, because everybody was reporting how Ken was in Texas, and then suddenly Gypsy's giving birth and Ken's right there. I mean, how long a drive is it from where he lives in Texas to where she's living? I mean, how far a drive is that he could just be there immediately? It seems very suspicious to me. Again, my opinion. My opinion is there probably isn't a baby. My opinion. She doing interviews after the baby is born, and never mind that stupid video. Oh, 1 week postpartum, look at me. I'm fit again and energized. I'm sorry, but I don't care what mother it is. If you and your significant other are the only ones taking care of a child, you don't look like that. You're exhausted because you don't get a lot of sleep, and you don't worry about your hair or your makeup or what you're wearing. You're just happy to be alive and happy to take care of that little bundle of joy. She seems completely uninterested in her quote-unquote daughter. Completely uninterested. And there was even an interview where she was, or maybe it wasn't an interview, maybe it was a tacky tick. It could have been. But she's saying, oh, I hear Aurora. I'm going to have to go, you guys. And then she stayed on for like 4 more minutes. I'm sorry, but as a mother, when your baby is crying or you know that you have to do something for your baby, it's far more urgent and immediate. It's like, oh, you guys, I gotta go. All right, see you later. That's what you would do. Not, oh, well, I gotta go. I think that the baby's awake and she's gonna need to be fed. La, la, la. You're not that slow. You're not that slow. When a baby, it's intentional that when a baby cries, a mother feels an urgency. It's like an automatic response that you do that because a baby is helpless and needs their parent, mother or father or both, to respond because they need things that they can't get for themselves. And it's the only way that I could describe it when my child was a baby was it was like almost an irritation and an urgency all at once. Like, oh my God, baby needs me, go. Like the way that Gypsy acts when she talks about her baby, there is no urgency. And if the baby does in fact exist, I don't think she's really taking care of the baby. Maybe here and there, maybe, in a huff she might do it, but if there is a baby that exists, that baby's in trouble. And if it's true that Ken is taking her to court, that they both lawyered up and he's taking her to court to take custody of that child, I think that's all the better, whether he's a father or not. Ken or even Ryan, and I kind of don't like Ryan. I think he's too much of a simp. I think there's some issues with him, but I think he would still make a better dad than Gypsy does make a mom, in my opinion. So, yeah, I mean, there's so much going around there. I saw videos of text messages that she was talking to with a friend just before she murdered her mother, and very suspicious. very much shows her character, which is that she's a selfish bitch that only cares about herself. And during the time just before she did the crime, her mother was very ill. Now again, we can't believe everything that Gypsy says because she is not a reliable narrator. But she went through a list of things, diabetes, and a whole slew of probably like 7 different things that her mother was going through, and it made her very ill. And she talked about some kind of a surgery around the kidney. I don't know if they took it out or what they did, but her mother was in a weak state. Her mother was not abusing her. I don't think her mother ever abused her. I think, in my opinion, the reality is that Gypsy was a spoiled little brat that got her way and just took it too far because of her microchromosome deletion syndrome, which is normal behavior for somebody who has that problem, that they can get erratic, and she definitely proved that. All this talk, it's crazy. There's so much coming out, so much thing. Although I will say I get frustrated sometimes because a lot of the channels that I get my information from are repetitive, and it's like I don't need you to go way back to the beginning of the story to tell what's going on now. Just say what's going on now. You can refer to it a little, but to just keep rehashing it over and over again, it's a little tiresome. And honestly, I'm tired of Gypsy. But I'm going to say something now. Let's wait and see if she gets off parole in June. Because my belief, once she's off parole, she's going to go insane nutso. In my opinion, she's going to go crazy. She already is crazy. I believe, in my opinion, as somebody who has studied psychology fairly extensively, I still do, actually, even 10 years later after I got my master's. I believe that she's definitely not just a narcissist. A narcissist is kind of a lesser version of a sociopath or a psychopath. And I would put her probably at sociopath because she can't come off as charming and sweet. She's a very good liar. So I put her as that. In my opinion, I am not somebody who works as a doctor. So I'm not stating this as fact. I'm stating this as opinion. But I think that's where she's at. Maybe even a psychopath, only because she uses people until she doesn't need them anymore, throws them away, and she's not above killing somebody to get them out of the way so that she can continue to do what she wants. That is very psychopathic behavior. But I'm saying right now there's going to be a lot of stuff going on because her show is coming out in March. I believe that a lot of stuff is being thrown out intentionally to get people to watch the show so that they can see what's really going on. It's not just gossip and alleged lees. It's, direct from the horse's mouth. But I think come June, when she is released from parole, if she is going to show her true colors. And I think that is the time to really pay attention, because she will no longer be filming a show. She'll be no longer trying to sell a book and trying to sell this goody two-shoes baloney that she's been trying to do. Oh, I'm a mother now, so I work really hard as a mother. It's hard work, but Ken and I just work so great together. It's like, yeah, you've been a parent for all of 2 or 3 weeks? Yeah, that really shows your parenting skills. Please. She should be freaking out all the time. That's what I did, because I was the sole caregiver. I did have a relative there who did pretty much nothing and just berated me for every little thing that I did, whether it was right or wrong. So it wasn't a fun time for me. So I was very anxious, and I was constantly just worrying, looking at the baby while they're sleeping, making sure that the baby is alive. Just, I think new parents, generally, first child, they do those things. And she's just doing none of that. So anyway, I'll revisit her if something else comes out. There's so much coming out right now. But none of it, honestly, is really that interesting to me. What's interesting to me is when June comes, if she's released from parole and she is a free woman, I want to see and watch how she fucks it up. Now, will people still be watching at that point? Maybe, because she will have her show on in March, starting March. So she'll still be currently in the spotlight. So I'm looking forward to a great big fucking downfall. That's a terrible thing. The only thing is I hope to God nobody gets hurt. That's my real worry. If there is a baby, which I'm not sure of, my opinion, I hope the baby doesn't get hurt. I hope if there is a baby that there are adults taking care of that baby, because she's not an adult. She has the mind of maybe 15 at most. But I have a feeling. I have a feeling that she's going to mess things up, and she's going to be back where she belongs. And I don't like to hope for people's downfalls, but I don't think Gypsy, I think that she's just bad. She's evil. And I don't think that she can do anything but evil. And more people see through that. They see through her lies. She doesn't like that. So once June comes about, and if she is released off of parole, I'm interested to see what she's going to do. Because I think that is going to be the mark of who Gypsy really is. And again, I hope nobody gets hurt, but I certainly do hope that she ends up right back where she belongs. And we all know where that is. Anyway, that's all I got to say.